Doing today? Welcome to another episode of Millionaires Are Made. This is the show where we believe you can become a millionaire in all 6 aspects of health. That's right, it's not just being rich. We do episodes on your physical health, mental health, intellectual health, spiritual health, financial health. And today's episode is going to be on your social health, and specifically our topic is self-love. So we're going to learn how interacting with people and being social and self-love are super important. We've got 3 amazing guests. They're going to share their piece of advice so we can all grow a little today. If this is your first time watching Millionaires Are Made, this is the show built on the fundamental belief that every person you meet knows something that you don't, and there's something to be learned from everyone in this big, beautiful world. This show was created because everywhere I travel and I meet people, there's things that I'm like, wow, they don't know this. Wow, they don't know this. Wow, they know a lot about this. And I felt the whole world should be sharing all their info together. So Millionaires Are Made was created so we can all share our knowledge and learn from everyone else in this world. In the spirit of authenticity, I don't meet or talk to the guests before the show so that their tip and their advice is 100% all about them and their life journey and what they've learned. And I don't have any bias on it, as little as possible. So it's going to be exciting to see what they all have to say. Audience, thank you so much for watching our show. We love you so much. Please feel free to comment and ask questions. We do ask them live on air and put our guests in the hot seat. So if you have any questions about social health or self-love or anything that they talk about, please, we will ask it right when you do. So feel free to ask questions, comments. We love all of that. On that note, we do want to give a big shout out to some of our followers. Thank you so much for helping us grow. On Facebook, we have Gavin Pompeius. Thank you. Instagram, Debbie Vilches. TikTok, Misfit Wanders. And YouTube, One Channel 95. Thank you all so much for watching us, supporting us, and following us. It helps a lot. If you, which I know you do, have something that you want to share and you want to be a guest on our show, please sign up. We love everyone and anyone to be a guest. The link's being dropped right now, www.millionairesaremade.com. Sign up, be a guest, come hang out. We'd love to hear what piece of advice you had to share with the world. And if you are also going through something right now, maybe it's financially, maybe it's physically, maybe it's socially, and you have a topic or something you just can't get through, send it to us. We will go out and find 3 guests that have a little piece of advice that hopefully can push you through that hump on your journey in life. Obviously, like every other show out there, if you like what we do, please like or heart on Facebook, subscribe, send stars, share, whatever it is on your medium. Please help us out and support us. We love that. It helps us keep going and makes us get up every morning ready to do more of this. And if you love getting free advice from a bunch of people in these short shows, we also do free one-on-one growth sessions. So if you want to talk to me alone and try to pick my brain from all the people that I meet as all my guests, the link's being dropped right now for a little free coaching session. Feel free to sign up for that. Would love to have you and talk to you. And obviously, we are a show and we do have sponsors. I'm going to go through them. These people help us out a lot. Please check their links out. Go like and follow them as well as our guests. Helps us out a lot. So our first sponsor, our big premium sponsor today, is Silver Fox Fitness. Bob is one of our viewers as well. He dedicated over 30 years to teaching fitness at a YMCA. Now he's a blogger and shares all of his knowledge on staying fit and mobile for a long, happy life. He specializes in seniors. Feel free to contact him for expert guidance. Our next awesome sponsor is Steve Selinga. His income pays the bills, especially in retirement. Let Steve, the income independence coach and author of Retirement Money Secrets, teach you how to more than double the income you're now receiving from your investments. This guy's a whiz. He knows how to make true passive income off dividends and stock market and investing so that you can just leave your money and live off of the earnings, the dividends, essentially. He's awesome. Check his website out below. Next up, we have Krista, the relationship chef. She loves helping couples connect through love language of food, which is everyone's love language. Let's be honest. Nobody gets mad at good food. She's a cordon bleu trained chef and a relationship coach and a true believer that love makes the world go round. God, I align with that. Man, I just want the food. Can you just get the food? Next sponsor is True Leaders. It's a bi-monthly magazine. It's awesome. It focuses on leadership and the skills that you need to be a great leader. practical guidance, inspiring stories, and in-depth interviews as well with some of the best, biggest leaders on this planet. It's free digitally, but also if you like me and read in print, it's on Amazon. That link's being dropped. Please help us support our sponsors. They help us live and love and create this show. And without further ado, we got all the good stuff out of the way, and it is now time to learn all about self-love and social health. And our first guest here is Spencer Jones. Spencer, who are you?
Hello. I'm Spencer Jones, the Prince of Positivity, and I love helping people step into their light and shine bright.
Oh, man, that sounds like an awesome life. All right. Well, tell me a little bit of this shining bright. If I wanted to improve my social health with self-love, what piece of advice would you give me?
Biggest piece of advice I can give, especially when you're looking socially, is to be intentional about who you are surrounding yourself with.
Awesome.
Because, man, those people pour love and light into you, or they can be pouring toxicity into you. So many of us stay in abusive relationships, whether mentally or physically, emotionally, all of that. Be intentional about you surrounding yourself with people who love you, support you, but will also challenge you to grow.
Love you, support you, and challenge you. I think that's a big one too. You can be loved, but it doesn't really help if you're not growing, right?
Right? I mean, some people love us so much that they stifle us and don't want us to grow because it challenges that relationship. So have those people around you who are challenging you, not just to be rude or disrespectful, but who intentionally push you outside your comfort zone, but still love you and support you without that judgment. That's huge.
And then the hardest part is as you grow, you might have to weed off some of your old inner circle. As your self-love increases, you're going to have to find new outside support to benefit that self-love, yeah?
Yeah, 100%. It's a tough thing to do, have those tough conversations, but a lot of times, thankfully, life takes its own journey and works that way once you make that decision. But you have to be conscious and intentional. It's all right, we need to sever that relationship or start to move away, and then it'll work. But you have to be intentional about let's separate and surround ourselves with who are the new groups of people, or who's that new person. Right? I keep my inner circle small. It's 5 people or less in my inner circle all the time. And then there's other little circles outside of that. But
okay, cool.
Keep that one nice and tight.
And then, so self-love, let's focus a little on that. So you got your self-love, right? You're building that, you're growing, you're loving yourself, you're growing externally as well as internally, right? You know, you're watching Millionaires Are Made and doing the daily challenges and helping grow. And then as that happens, you're noticing you're socially, everyone else is going to have to grow with you. And does that happen naturally, or do you have to sit down and write down, this guy's no longer in my life, this or that? Tell me more about that process.
Yeah, great question. So as we grow and we learn to love ourselves even more and step into our light and shine bright, that we realize, okay, we need to keep this journey going and continue to learn and grow. And we can hope that the people around us will continue to learn and grow with us. But we can't force them to do it, right? That's on them. Hopefully they will, and they'll stay with you. But maybe they're there for that short time in your journey. Maybe they're for a season, or maybe they're for a longer time. Cool. But you can't force them to learn and grow. You could suggest it, you can promote it, you can invite them, but then they have to take the steps and do the work. If you're just dragging them along, it's like dragging an anchor along with you, and that's holding you back from shining your light, from really stepping into your light and shining as bright as possible. So we need to release that anchor and be like, okay, for me, it's not necessarily sitting down, writing it down, but I would say every 4 to 6 months, I'm looking at who's my inner circle, and I probably could do it every 3 or 4 months to look at and just reflect who's in my inner circle. Are they still in alignment with where I'm going, with who I want to be, and do they still fit who I want to be surrounded with? If they do, great. If they don't, great. At least we got awareness, and now we can take action on it.
Honestly, I think that's one of the hardest. I mean, we'll talk more about this in the round robin. Maybe we shouldn't even talk right now, but that's one of the hardest parts of life is, first off, wanting and knowing how to grow yourself, right? And we're all growing some way. Either bad things are happening to us and we're learning from those, or we're proactively reading, learning, hiring coaches and growing that way. You know, especially socially, there's not a whole lot of there's dating coaches and relationship coaches, but there isn't how to find a best friend coach.
Right.
I don't think that's really a niche, right? Or how to keep growing and get your circle to grow with you. You know, a true ride or die, you know, in your inner circle is someone that's growing with you, you know, maybe not the same stuff at the same time, but as long as you're seeing them oh, dude, you know, your best friend should be someone that's telling you knowledge almost every day. Like, yo, I
Right.
just learned this little bit, but we should work on that. Oh, this and that, that kind of stuff. And I feel like that's the hardest thing to find. That's the secret to life. Maybe that's a bold claim.
Well, but I agree. It's one of the tricky things, and we have all these the coaches out there who are great, who help us in other areas of your life, but not necessarily you find that best friend. But the best one I found for that is knowing who you are truly, authentically, and with where you're going, and then you could use that as a compass to help gauge everything in your life, whether it's decisions of, oh, I'm taking on this activity, or I'm hanging out with this person, or going to this group thing, and then you could use that as a way to vet and see about if those people align with you and with where you're going, because they might be I might bring someone into my inner circle thinking, okay, this is great, knowing that it's probably only for a year. That's okay, because they help service there. It might be longer, but let's go there and then we'll reevaluate and adjust. And there's some people I thought were going to be there for life that end up being toxic and hurting me later on, right? So they're only there for that short time. So it takes constant reflection and always relating it to where are you going.
And a lot of it's instinct too, yeah.
Yes and no. I found that instincts can be detrimental to us, because a lot of time my instincts, if I go with my gut feeling, that's one thing. But sometimes if I rely on instincts, as in, well, I'm craving to be appreciated, to be loved, then I might be staying in a toxic relationship or a friendship that isn't serving or helping me to be at my best. Instead, it's holding me back because I'm just looking for them to acknowledge me and make sure I feel seen, heard, and felt. When that's not, well, I want that from my friendships, but if that's why I'm holding on to them, I need to be looking for something else, and I need to heal and work on me first. I can't get that from anybody else.
Yeah, and I would say that's a tough decision. That's tough to learn. I have bad news though, Spencer. We got to move on to the next guest. I'm sorry, everyone. Go follow him on Facebook if you want to learn more. We'll bring you back out in the round robin here in just a second. Wise words from Spencer, but we've got more to learn. Brenda, who are you?
Hi, I am Brenda Wallenberg, and I'm trained as a social worker and a nutritionist. And my area of focus is analyzing and interpreting genetic profiles. So things like from 23andMe, for example, to design personalized wellness program. It's probably the most fun, most precision work I've done. And I'm also a long-term partner of a great guy. I've got 5 really great and amazing adult children, and a nana at this point to 6 grandkids, one of whom recently gifted me with this lovely cold. Okay, so what can you do, right?
All right.
Yeah. So yeah,
right,
so that's what I am. That's who I am.
I love it, Brenda. You sound like the perfect person to answer this next question. If I wanted to improve my social health with self-love and a cold, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
It might seem a little out of place, and I'll unpack it and tell you why, but start your self-care with what you're putting in your mouth.
Okay. All right, let's explore that.
Okay, so holistic nutritionist, big fan of food, for example, but also because of the social work, we also co-pastored for a couple of decades, really believe in the interconnection between body, mind, and spirit. But you've got to start somewhere. And even with social health relationships, food is still one of the best places to start. And the reason is that, well, 2 or 3 main reasons, but one of which is that it really impacts things like mood, irritability, like if your blood sugar levels are all over the map, if you are not getting enough amino acids, which are the building blocks of protein. Those are like the raw materials to make things like dopamine, serotonin. So those are going to impact your moods, your ability to relate to yourself, to other people, to a common good. And so you really, if you can start with your dietary approach, like what your food plan is, you are going to better provide the raw materials to actually make cellular energy, ATP. You're going to have more of what you need to be able to balance your moods, to be able to take that pause before maybe responding to someone quickly and inappropriately. You're going to have the resources to be patient and to attend to yourself and to your relationships in a better way. So I'm a huge fan of food first with almost all my clients. Yeah.
I love it. What a piece of advice that I don't think anyone saw coming on social health and self love. And now we're talking about food.
Yeah.
Brenda, where on your life journey did you learn that advice?
I think the way that most people did, which is that you weren't doing it. So you just kind of, it's like the school of hard knocks. So mid-20s, social worker, loved my job, working with really challenged adolescents. Actually, at one point was social worker for a contained unit, a locked unit, for kids that were falling between the cracks of, mental health and education and attorney general and social services. And I was just a basket case, like falling asleep on the couch when I got home from work, so no energy. I had thyroid issues. I was irritable, cranky, all those things I just mentioned, a little low moods, a lot of trouble sleeping. And bottom line, I had a friend that came up to me and said, frankly, I think you used to be smarter. And I'm like, thanks a lot. So it was, perfect storm of where I wasn't doing well at a job that I loved well. And in relationships, I didn't have kids at that point, but I had a partner, a husband. And it was a wake up call that you cannot simply fuel on government issued bad coffee, sugar, edible oil, byproduct creamers, and all those snacks in the staff room, all the sugary snacks, and think that you are going to have a functioning life, body, mind, or spirit. So it was like huge. I mean, I had an ulcer already. I wasn't even old. So you kind of had a wake up call. And the same friend who told me she thought I used to be smarter introduced me to her boyfriend at the time, a master herbalist. He was really a brilliant guy, did a lot of product formulations for supplement companies in Canada and stuff. And it was like fork in the road, life changing. So, yeah.
Awesome. What a story. All right, Brenda, we're going to move on to our next guest. Thank you so much for your
Perfect.
insight. Next up, we have Emmy. Emmy, who are you?
Hi, everyone. My name is Emmy Valerio, and I am an author, a speaker, and I am also a bug got you.
Oh, man, Emmy.
And I'm also your breakup bestie. I am the breakup coach that you come to when you want to heal and thrive after heartbreak.
Oh, man. Business must be booming.
Definitely is. Because, come to find out, like 90% of people actually go through a traumatizing and toxic breakup, right? And this is why self-care, especially after a breakup and being able to revitalize your relationships, is truly important.
Awesome. Okay. Well, if I wanted to improve my social health with self love, what tiny piece of advice would you give me?
Now, this might sound very controversial, but especially when it comes to socialization, right? But one of the things that has helped me be able to improve my self-care and self-love, to be able to socialize better with people, has been the power of solitude. Just
Ooh.
being able to prioritize yourself and being able to prioritize your alone time has been super essential when it's come to my life.
All right. So social health is improved by being by yourself and at least, yeah, I mean, retreating, covering your energy, being ready to be more present out there. All right. I can see that. I can see that.
Yeah, because you'll have to remember that in this fast-paced world, right? Everybody is trying to connect and spend time with so many people, and it can be a little bit intimidating, right? And foreign to be able to spend time with yourself. But however, just being able to prioritize your alone time can be beneficial, not only for your self-care, but also for self-love, because it improves your personal growth and development. Like, you get to get clear and get clarity on who you are, what your likes and dislikes are, especially when you're getting ready to socialize. You need to be able to know, be secure in your identity, right? Being secure in who you are, being secure and knowing your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions, right? And having that align with who you're getting ready to step outside to be, right? And then also recharging, and being able to revitalize yourself. It can be really draining when it comes to social interactions. I know for me, sometimes I can be a little bit of an introvert, and that has a lot to do with just daily interactions and responsibilities. As a mom of a 2-year-old, my son is constantly, touching on me and loving up on me, and sometimes just retreating and just saying, okay, mommy needs a little alone time, right, to be able to just recharge. There's nothing wrong with that, to be able to unwind and just replenish that energy so I can be better for my son, right, and be better in that interaction, in that relationship. Because in order for him to be able to see a healthy relationship, I need to be able to take time for myself so I can replenish and rejuvenate myself.
That's awesome. Awesome. Wild tips. So real quick, you kind of went over this. Let's take 30 seconds to touch on it. Where in your life journey did you learn this information?
So a few years ago, I was working as a counselor, right? And the role I loved it. It was amazing. I had an amazing time, but I was also going through a tough breakup. And so my world felt like it was crumbling around me. My energy was drained. My work has suffered. And I found myself in a really dark and tough and unhappy place, right, in my life. And one morning, I just walked into my office and I started feeling a panic wave all over me, right? My heart raced and my chest was just pounding and it was tight. So I went to the hospital to figure out what was going on with me. They did a neural scan and everything, and they could find absolutely nothing wrong with me. The doctor left with he basically gave me a pamphlet that said, you need a little bit more self-care. Gave me this pamphlet and said, you need time for yourself. And that was just the wake-up call that I needed to say that I was literally in desperate need of just loving on me and caring for me, because we only get one body. And if you're not caring for yourself, and if you're not truly honoring your body and your space, right, unfortunately the latter of that is death, right? And I knew that I wanted to be healthy, and I knew that I wanted to be the best me yet. And so self-care was that turning point for me, where I just understood that it wasn't going to be easy, but I also understood that it was essential for me to be able to prioritize my well-being, setting boundaries, and just taking care of myself. So had I not had that situation happen to me, I probably would have been running the race of running the rabbit race of trying to be successful, but understanding that self-care was actually the quintessential thing that I needed to up my success.
I love it. Awesome. All right. Well, we're ready for our next part. We're going to bring everyone out here for a round robin. Bring Brenda and Spencer back out. Guys, we do have a question from the audience, and we're going to just start off with that right off the bat. Did I click the right one? No. There we go. Does self-love help with social anxiety, and how?
That's a good question.
Who wants to go first? That's a great question. We're probably all nodding, are we?
I'll jump in. So yes, in my opinion, self-love does help with social anxiety, because a lot of times when we feel anxious going out in the world and into groups, and that we're so worried about people focused on us, and what are people thinking, how are people judging or looking at us. But if we can, a lot of that stems from us not knowing and loving ourselves truly, authentically, just the way we are. We're always trying to look for validation. And that's not always the case, but a lot of the times. And so if we can learn to love ourselves for us, truly, authentically, and allow ourselves to be us, no matter what, that'll help reduce or eliminate that social anxiety. I'd love to hear the other thoughts as well.
Yeah, I'll tag team on that. I often teach my clients my infamous OCC formula: observation, curiosity, and compassion. And I think if you're dealing with social anxiety of some type, and you can start to put that into place, like just observing the different types of situations where that might be triggered, maybe people that feel unsafe or settings that feel unsafe, and then digging down deeper to find out that potentially that was something that at some point our body felt made sense to us, and therefore how can we now be able to talk with our body through loving ourselves, through different types of self-regulation, to be able to say, while that particular response may have served us at one point, may have been a very good protective mechanism, that it may not be something that's serving us well right now. So I think that's another aspect of it, where you start loving yourself and understanding yourself better, it can bring some reduction to the social anxiety.
Yeah, so I think mine is a yes and no, right? Because self-love is a tool that can be used, right, to be able to decrease the social anxiety. But we also have to remember that if you're not understanding and knowing what the root cause of your social anxiety is, you're not going to be able to heal that social anxiety, right, with just self-love in itself. You need to be able to get to the root cause so you can know exactly what is it that is stemming that social anxiety, to be able to utilize different tools such as self-love to heal it.
Yep. Yep. But it may also be counseling, it may be medication. You're right, Ellie, there's lots of other tools that can be used.
Exactly.
All right, we've got another question. Are there easy ways to show yourself a little self-love every day? And obviously we will come up with a daily challenge here soon, but feel free to answer that if you'd like.
What's something you love about you every day, right? Or that you appreciate about yourself every day? You can just think about it, but even stronger yet if you could write it down.
Mhm. I would say get out and get some morning sun on your face. That is a huge self-love tool. And if you live like me and outside of Vancouver, BC, and there's not a lot of sun, just get outside anyways, even through the clouds. That can really help with mood, resetting, circadian rhythm. It can be a really nice 5 or 10 minute gift to give yourself.
And I think that's amazing. One of the tips that I would say is getting a mind, heart, and soul connection. So just asking yourself, what is it that I need to do today, right? What is it that my heart wants? What is it that my heart needs and wants today? And then what is it that my soul, desires? What is it that I want to do to be able to connect with that whole mind, body, and soul connection?
All right. Well, that answered that pretty quickly. Are you guys ready to work on our daily challenge?
Sure.
Let's do it.
So we got to come up with something, a task that takes less than 5 minutes a day, costs $0, and is available to anyone in the world from South Korea to North Korea, that helps improve social health with self-love. Thoughts?
Actually, this one might even save you money. This thought is just to reduce your ultra processed food intake by 50%. Just getting off the refined sugars and grains and the poor quality seed oils can go a long way to having that cellular energy that we talked about earlier just supply you with the fuel that you need to even take care of yourself. That's one idea.
All right. Other thoughts, Emmy and Spencer?
Yeah, for me, it would be utilizing my 2-2-2 method. So it's doing 2 minutes of movement, 2 minutes of journaling, and 2 minutes of just connecting. Connect with somebody that you love. It takes 2 minutes to just shoot a text and just say, hey, how are you doing? Just checking in on you to see how's your soul doing and how can I support you and help you. So doing my 2-2-2 method has been very helpful for me.
Ooh, I like that. All right.
I like that.
Man, these are awesome. I mean, I was just going to say something like go out for a walk and reflect on the things you appreciate about yourself. But what if we combine all of them here? And I like the 2-2-2 method of, all right, let's go out, let's move your body for 2 minutes in ways that work for you. You journal, reflect, write things you like about yourself, and just journal about the day, connect with someone you like. But then let's reflect on what foods are you eating and how can you make it so that it's more natural, less processed foods in that day. No judgment on the day before, but just you're planning ahead. So now we're kind of in 2-2-2-2.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, that's exactly what I was
Let's
going to say.
2x4s and figure that out. But that way you're just moving your body, reflecting on journaling and about positive things about you, connecting with someone, and then just looking ahead for the day of your food intake to help you be at your best. Go with water or whatever else you need.
I love that. I'm gonna have to change the name now.
I love it.
All right, so okay, so we got what, a 2-2-2-2 method.
Yeah.
Which
the
is
4x2 method.
Yeah.
2 minutes of journaling, right?
Yep.
Mhm.
journaling, 2 minutes. So we're gonna do this is 8 minutes. All right, we're just gonna leave it as is. If you want to cut it short because you really only have 5 minutes, that's your choice.
You could do 1 minute of each if you really
Yeah,
want.
1 minute of each.
Yeah.
Take
Yeah.
1 minute to move your body, 1 minute to journal about your wants, your needs, and your desires. Taking 1 minute to figure out how to nourish your body, like what do you need to nourish your body, and then taking another minute just for
Reaching out.
reaching out to your
Yeah.
family and your friends. 1
Yeah.
minute.
Mhm.
Contacting and texting. It takes you're scrolling on social media all day anyways. Take a moment to just contact your friends.
Mhm.
Text.
I like that.
Call, comment. I mean, yeah. All right. So here's what we got. I like the sun part though too. Let's do 2 minutes.
Well, the movement could be outside. You could
Yeah.
choose to do your movement
Outdoor
outside.
movement. I like
Yeah,
that.
that would help.
Walking
2
is
minutes
movement as
journaling.
well. So if
Yeah.
you're
2
doing
minutes
2 minutes of
focusing
just
on
walking,
nutrition.
there you go.
2 minutes there. 2 minutes outside.
Yeah.
2 minutes outside minute. So it's really actually you could just do everything outside, and then it's still a 2-2-2 method.
Yeah.
But it's just outside while moving.
There you go.
And it could be
Yeah.
just stretching or twisting or boogieing, whatever you
Yeah.
want.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it could be standing barefoot in your backyard, like anything like that would work.
Getting grounded in the grass. It's super
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
All right. I think that this is officially a daily challenge. Going to be our 2-2-2-2 method, which we turned back into a 2-2-2 method. Oops. So got to be outside with some movement. So, do whatever you got to do to move and be outside. It's summertime, so this should be easy. Take 2 minutes to journal and reflect on, your day before. 2 minutes to focus on your nutrition. Get rid of oils and processed meats. And basically, I just read somewhere the more ingredients in something, the shorter your life will be.
Yeah.
Yeah, so if you have something with like 100 ingredients, stay away. So 2 minutes to kind of focus on your nutrition for yesterday and today, whatever. And then 2 minutes to reach out, friend or family. Either if you're scrolling on Facebook, comment, I love you, I miss you, whatever. Or pick up the phone and call, send a couple texts out. I think that's fucking great.
It's good. I like
Love
it.
it.
Serious self-love that'll help some social health. All right.
Okay, good.
Cool.
Nice work, team. Nice work.
We're all done then. Thank you so much.
I can't wait to see people take on the challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't wait to see you take on the challenge. All right, well, I'm going to put y'all backstage and wrap up the show. Thank you so much for coming again. Man, that was a good episode. Very, very insightful. Thank you, audience, for watching. Thank you for your comments. It was great. Make sure you go follow them on Instagram, Facebook, socials, whatever, and go connect with them. If you are curious about self-love, your social health, reach out, go say hi.